Jen and all the comedians you've seen tonight. Holy shit. What a show. Amazing show. Awesome. And how are you guys? Are you feeling pretty good? Feeling good? Good. I feel great. I am heavily medicated. I'm actually on 7 different kinds of medication. Wellbutrin, Paxil, Prestige, Trulicity, Simvastatin, Lisinopril, and Sildenafil. Yeah, I have to memorize them because if I go to get like new insurance or I go to a new doctor, they ask you what prescriptions are you on. So I had to come up with a way to memorize all of these medications. And I grew up in New York with a lot of Irish and Roman Catholic friends, and my friend Mike had 6 brothers and sisters, and his mom would call them to the table, and they go, Harry, Tony, Helen, Beth, Michael, Mary, Eileen, you know. So that's what I do with my medications. Wellbutrin, Paxil, Prestige, Trulicity. And then if that doesn't work, I have a little song that I do just to keep it fresh in my memory. It's kind of like, Wellbutrin, Paxil, and Prestige for my anxiety. I take Trulicity because I got type 2 diabetes. I also take Simvastatin to keep my cholesterol at 233. You know, it doesn't really rhyme. It's kind of fucked up. Then I take Sildenafil, which is generic for Viagra because I have erectile dysfunction. It's one of the side effects of all those other medications. 55 years old. It is a weird age. I am not a member of a particular group of people my age. Proud of this, to not be a member of this particular group, which is the guys that wear the CPAP masks and they have those lines. You can kind of identify the CPAP user because they've got that line from the indentation of the CPAP strap. It's like some kind of war paint, you know, to identify themselves to the other members of the tribe. The CPAP tribe, we meet up on the ridge and we attack. We swoop down and attack the erectile dysfunction guys. Take them on. Also, as I'm getting older, my voice is getting higher. I'm not sure if this, how did this happen? Could also be a side effect of all the fucking meds I take. I know. 3 times in the last 6 months I've had this happen. The first time I was out of gas and I was stopped by the side of the road and I called AAA and I'm just waiting and all this traffic's whizzing by and I'm stressing out and I'm yelling at the guy from AAA. I'm like, get over here with my gas! And the guy's going, calm down, ma'am. What the hell? I guess after a while it's just going to come out to where I'm like, you know, I'm going to sound like Katharine Hepburn in a couple of years. Where's my gas, Norman? We gotta get the strawberries. Hey, thanks. I live here. I live in Louisville. Thank you so much. And I do enjoy the delicious pizza here at Butchertown Pizza. Best pizza in the city. It is super tasty pizza in the stinkiest fucking neighborhood in the entire. I like to walk in and feel totally nauseous right before I eat my dinner. This whole neighborhood kind of smells like the inside of a pig. It's fascinating. Does it? Okay. All right. Thank you. It's a cool town. Everybody's friendly. Everybody knows everybody. That's the thing. If you have celebrities that live here and are from here, I had the pleasure of meeting Muhammad Ali twice. Just like, hey, champ, how you doing? Good to see you. So he's famous. And who else we got? Daryl Isaacs, the Hammer. Who's a complete dick in real life. That's what you don't realize about celebrities. They're not always as nice as they appear to be on television. I have a friend that works for Wave 3 Television, told me every year at Derby, Al Roker comes to Louisville, and he is a dick in real life. I was totally shocked by this. You know, I'm imagining the Today Show, and he's going, that's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods. Okay, we're out. And go fuck yourself. Emeril Lagasse, you know that chef, Emeril Lagasse? Also a dick in real life. This is something I heard. So, you know, he's like, you know, when the camera's off, he's like, bam, fuck you! You know, he's angry. How are the martinis? Pretty good. Good. Awesome. Excellent. Cool. I have two beautiful daughters. They're 23 and 20 now. And thank you. Thanks a lot. That wasn't even that was like just the hands coming together. Like you were sort of thinking about it. No, they're full grown by now. We did. Oh, are you 23? All right. Cool. Cool. Yeah, we did pretty well with them. You know, I taught my children to have a sense of humor. Here's an example. We went to Disney World when they were little kids. They're like 8 and 5, and we're walking around Disney World, and we walked past this log flume ride. There's like it's called the Splash Mountain log flume, and we're walking past her, and we see this little kid come running out. He's like 3 years old. He's crying his eyes out. He's soaking wet. He's like. Then all of a sudden, this full-grown man, walks up to this kid and grabs him by the shoulders, and he's shaking him and he's yelling in his face. And the guy goes, "Look, I told you, it's just water." Thank you. That's my impression of the English guy yelling at his kid at Disney World. "I told you, it's just water." It's like, damn, Sid Vicious, why don't you go beat your kid's ass in the bathroom like we do here in the States? "I told you!" So my wife and my children and I spent the whole entire day just saying that, because it was funny. "I told you!" I got a 5-year-old daughter. "I told you! It's just water!" Ah! We're cracking up. We go to a little cafe to have lunch. "I told you! It's a cheeseburger!" Ah, ha, ha, ha. So we get to the longest line of the day, longest line is at Space Mountain. So we're waiting in line at Space Mountain. You know how it is at Disney World. You kind of, you're in this little cattle pen and you're in line there and you're waiting for your turn and you keep seeing somebody that you recognize. "Oh, look, there's that guy." And then you'll go around, "Oh, yeah, I remember that guy, yeah." So just to break up the monotony, my 5-year-old just busts out with it. She goes, "Look, I told you, it's just water." And we look across from us, and there's the guy. With the kid, he's like, the little kid's going, "Daddy, that little girl sounds just like you." American women find that English accent kind of sexy, do you? Yeah, well, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if you want that guy coming at you in the bedroom. "I told you, it's me sexy underpants." Yeah, some English guys sound like James Bond, and some of them sound like James Bond's chimney sweep. Step in time, step in time. Thanks. Been married for 27 years, man. It is awesome. It is awesome being married. My wife is my best friend. We get along great. And coolest thing about our marriage, though, is the fact that my wife tells me intimate secrets about all of her female friends. Gets off the phone with these women and then runs and tells me all kinds of secret, disgusting details. Then I get to meet these women and hang out with them at parties, which is great. I got beautiful women walking up to me going, "Hey, you're Mike. You must be the comedian." I'm like, "Hey, you're Susan. Heard so much about you. You're the nymphomaniac with the anal fixation, aren't you? Heard so much about you." Happy New Year, by the way. I hope everybody's enjoying the New Year so far. We celebrate Christmas all year round here at Cabel Street Bar. We leave the tree up. We're too fucking lazy. We just have it there. Celebrate the season. My favorite holiday is 4th of July. I'm a proud American, and I like to kind of carry the spirit of 4th of July into all the other holidays. So when the kids come to my house on Halloween, I drop a lit M80 in their treat bag. Thanks. Thanksgiving here in Kentucky was a little bit of a culture shock when I first moved here. I had no idea what I was in for. There's this whole dressing versus stuffing argument. When I was a kid, it was stuffing. We never had... dressing was what you put on your salad. Stuffing was what you had on Thanksgiving inside the turkey. And my wife's parents invited me to Thanksgiving the first time, for the first time shortly after we met. And she serves this dressing, and it had oysters on top of it. I was like, absolutely disgusting. Could you not think of anything more disgusting to put on top of this? How about some like dryer lint from your dryer? How about some boogers? Could you put some boogers on there? Because I am not quite grossed out enough. Man, when you guys don't like a joke, you don't screw around, do you? It's kind of glazed over there for a second. Yeah, I raised my kids to have a sense of humor, like I said, though. At Christmas time every year, we would put on my favorite CD, the Motown Christmas CD, right? It's got all your Motown favorites, doing all the Christmas standards. And my favorite, the highlight of the entire album, without a doubt, Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 doing I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. Because it's great, man. You got the Jackson brothers doing the harmonies, and then right in the middle, for some reason, little Michael Jackson, little 10-year-old Michael goes, I did see Mommy kissing Santa Claus. And I'm going to tell my dad. Thank you, that's my other impression I do. There's the English guy at Disney World and Michael Jackson. Almost like Michael Jackson was here for a second, wasn't it? It's like one of those tribute shows in Vegas. I don't know how much you guys know about the history of the Jackson family, but Michael Jackson's dad is the last motherfucker you want to share that information with. My dad beat the crap out of Santa Claus with a 2x4. Blessed to have both of my parents still alive. My dad is 77 years old, and I am 55, so we're at a very important stage in our relationship, because we never really were that close, but now we're at this stage where we can actually compare who has the better urologist. And well, my dad wins because he lives in Florida down there. If you go in there for a PSA test, they give you Percocet, so he definitely wins that competition. No, but I have a urologist right here in Louisville, and this was the to me, this was a great example of just how sweet and kind and good-natured people are here in Kentucky. I went to this guy named Dr. Short here in Louisville. Dr. Short was not named after the length of the catheter that he had to use to relieve the condition that I had, which was called prostatitis, which, just like any other infection, if you have laryngitis, your larynx doesn't work. If you got bronchitis, your bronchites are fucked up. So, if you have prostatitis, thank you, sir. Have you had it? Anybody? Anybody else? Ladies? Anybody? Anybody? This guy's having it right now. He's like, oh shit. So, I couldn't go to the bathroom. That's what happened. Everything just kind of seized up right down here. And I had to go see this guy, Dr. Short. So he's got me laid out on the table, and he's getting ready to catheterize me, and I'm terrified. So I'm laying on this table, I got my pants around my ankles, Dr. Short is there, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I notice there's another dude in the room. There's another guy, there's like an assistant that they brought in, but this guy is like 9 feet tall, and he's got a fucking hump on his back, and Parkinson's disease. You know, he's flailing around with this catheter. They have this guy, they keep him just for these exact procedures. He's back there in a holding pen. They're feeding him raw meat behind the copy machine. So here's the example, though, of how kind and sweet. Dr. Short, native Kentuckian, he had the cute accent and everything, and I'm laying there, and the guy is getting ready to rape my pee hole with a garden hose, and I am... Dr. Short's face is right here like I'm having a baby. He's right there next to me. And he goes, this is going to hurt a little bit, honey. Guy called me honey. Yeah. I've been alive for a long time, never heard another dude call me honey, so I had that experience. Thanks a lot there, sweet cheeks. Maybe we'll get a drink after this. Thanks. Been doing stand-up a long time. Actually, 1982 was the first stand-up set I did, so we're coming up on 4,000 years ago, I think, was when I did that first one. And man, it's just been... I've written a lot of jokes, but I had something happen to me recently, funnier than any of the material I've written in all that time. I went to this restaurant called BW3's. It's a chicken wing place. And I walk in there, like I have to explain, it's a chicken wing place. BW3. That's actually Buffalo Wild Wings, and I went in there. That's what it stands for. BW3 is like an abbreviation for Buffalo Wild Wings. Did you know that? Yeah. It's a restaurant that serves chicken wings. What a concept. I went in there for lunch, and I wanted to get some carry-out, so I'm standing there waiting at the counter, and all of a sudden this woman comes out from the kitchen, and I'm like, "Hi, how you doing?" And she goes, "My neck is fucked up." That's it. That's all she had to say. My neck is fucked up. You can't make up anything as funny as that. My neck. And I'm like, what do you say at that moment? You know, I'm really not that hungry. I think I'm going to go check out Applebee's. What's going on over there? My neck is fucked up. Is that like the new customer greeting they're trying out from the corporate office? Send it down? Yeah, maybe you should open with that. My neck is fucked up. It's in the employee manual. Step 1, grab neck. Thank you. Bam! Fuck you! I just wrote that today. That Emeril Lagasse thing. I thought it was a keeper. You'll be saying that in the car on the way home. Bam! Fuck you! Alright. That's cool, man. Yeah, I won't be doing any more of those clean comedy shows after the word gets out about bam, fuck you. But... yeah, man. My wife's from here. Beautiful women in Kentucky, man. Fantastic, sexy, intelligent, lovely. Okay, you're not buying this, apparently. Trying to schmooze up a little bit. She got me with the accent. That was the thing, man. The first time we met, I was this New York comedian traveling around doing shows, and started talking to her after the show, and I said some smart-ass remark, and she goes, "Shut your pie hole." All right. I don't know where that is, but I'll find it and shut it. Just for you. I go, "What is it?" She goes, "It's a hole where you put your pie." That was it. She closed the deal right there. She was amazing. And then shortly after that, she took me to my first derby party. I'm like, "What do I wear to a derby party?" She goes, "Just wear a little shorts outfit." What the hell is that? I'm imagining myself dressed up as Angus Young from AC/DC with my beanie and my shorts. Oh, man. I'm going to tell you guys this story before I leave. And here's the thing. People ask comedians all the time, they want to tell you a joke after the show. And they ask you if you're funny when you're not doing, we're not on stage doing a show. And this story kind of encapsulates all of that. Because what happens is we get told jokes a lot by people out in the parking lot after the show. And they're usually the worst, most racist, homophobic, they're horrible jokes that you would never repeat to another person. But here's what happened. I was doing a show in Indiana. I was in Seymour, Indiana, hometown of John Cougar Mellencamp. Also a dick, I heard, in real life. Little Bastard, that's his nickname up there in Seymour. Bam! All the dicks do that bam, fuck you thing. But, so I'm in Seymour, and I'm driving home. I'm on 31W. It's a country road, and I'm driving home. And I just finished the show, and I'm on this road. And I come into this town called Crothersville, Indiana. Crothersville. And if you don't know, it's a little town. It's close to the interstate, but since I was on a state road, the speed limit went from 55 to 35, just like that. Next thing I know, I'm being pulled over. I got red and blue lights flashing in my rearview mirror. I'm like, oh, shit. I get pulled over. So the cop walks up to the car, and he's got the flashlight shining right in my eyes. I felt like I was on stage right there. And the guy says, "Can I see your license?" And I handed it to him, and he goes, "Oh, you're from Kentucky. What are you doing up here in Indiana?" And I said, "Well, I'm a comedian down the road here in Seymour doing a show on my way home." The guy doesn't skip a beat. He goes, "Well, tell me a joke." Now, I have a crucial judgment call to make at this point, because you guys have heard my stuff. It's all kind of stream of consciousness. I'm not going to try to set up the whole premise of my neck is fucked up and go from there. I'm going to tell the guy a joke. So I thought of this joke. I thought of a clean joke because I didn't want to offend the guy. So I go, okay, this duck walks into a grocery store, and this is me telling the cop the joke. I'm looking up at him. It was so fucking weird. I'm like, well, it's kind of a shit crowd, but I'll tell you the joke anyway. All right, so a duck walks into a grocery store and walks up to the service counter and asks for duck food. You got any duck food? Guy at the service counter says, no, we don't have duck food. Duck turns around and walks out. The next day, he walks up to the same guy at the counter. He says, you got any duck food? The guy says, no, we don't have any duck food. The third day, the same duck walks up to the same guy. He says, you got any duck food? The guy says, no, look, this is the third day in a row you've been in here. If you ask me one more time for duck food, I'm going to nail your feet to the floor. So the duck turns around and walks out. The next day, the same duck walks up to the same guy. He says, you got any nails? I said, no. He goes, okay, you got any duck food? And the cop goes, okay, you can go. He handed me my license. I got out of a ticket. Don't try that at home. Thanks, guys. Good night.